It started with laughter echoing over the fence, high, careless, and utterly familiar. At first, I thought I was imagining things. After all, it was a Tuesday afternoon, and no one should have been in my backyard except me. But when I stepped outside, towel draped over my shoulder and a cold lemonade in hand, I saw them, Karen's family, splashes, floats, and all, right in my pool. Karen, my HOA's self-proclaimed queen, sat under my patio umbrella like she owned the place, sunglasses glinting in the sun. Her husband was grilling burgers on my propane grill, and her 2 teenage sons were doing cannonballs into the deep end. My stomach twisted. They weren't just trespassing, they were making themselves at home. For a long moment, I just stood there, frozen, watching water droplets shimmer midair. I'd worked 2 decades to buy this home, to earn a little peace after years of factory shifts and double jobs. In my pool, my small slice of heaven, had been my sanctuary after my wife passed away 3 years ago. Every tile, every light around it, I'd installed myself, piece by piece, trying to rebuild a bit of calm. Karen, I called, voice calm but tight. She turned lazily, a smirk playing on her lips. Oh, hey, Mike. We thought you wouldn't mind. The kids were dying from the heat, and our pool's pump broke again. You thought I wouldn't mind? I asked slowly. Karen, you've got my number. You could have asked. Oh, come on, she said, waving a dismissive hand. We're neighbors. You're part of the HOA, too. Sharing builds community, right? I clenched my jaw. This wasn't the first time she'd bent the rules. She'd left trash bins out for days after collection, parked her SUV across my driveway during HOA meetings, and sent me, courtesy reminders, about lawn length when her own grass looked like a jungle. But this was different. This was my home, my private space. I took a deep breath. Finish up and please leave. I don't want this happening again. Her smirk vanished, replaced by a thin smile that didn't reach her eyes. Fine, no need to get uptight. They left, dripping water and attitude across my patio. I thought that would be the end of it. But I was wrong. The next weekend, I came back from grocery shopping to find the gate latch broken, a towel on the deck, and water still rippling in the pool. She'd done it again. My security camera confirmed it. Her family had come over twice while I was out. And the worst part, they'd invited friends. I brought it up at the next HOA meeting. Karen, of course, shared it. Karen, I have footage of your family using my pool without permission, I said evenly. I'd like the HOA to address this trespassing. Her expression didn't flicker. Mike, we all share this community. You've been rather unneighborly lately. Maybe we should discuss whether your behavior fits the spirit of our association. Laughter rippled around the table. A few members, probably afraid of crossing her, kept their eyes down. I sat there, humiliated. I realized she wasn't just ignoring me, she was undermining me. I'd seen her pull this before, bending rules for her friends, nitpicking others until they gave up fighting. But I wasn't going to be bullied. That night, I stood by my pool under the soft hum of the lights, staring at my reflection. My wife's voice came back to me, the calm, patient one that always urged reason over anger. You can't fight every battle with fists, she used to say. Some wars are won with patience and proof. So I came up with a plan. A few years back, I'd bought a special chemical powder for water maintenance, nothing toxic, just a harmless pool additive that reacts with certain compounds. It's often used to trace leaks or detect contaminants. When mixed properly, it could turn the water a cloudy blue if it came into contact with specific lotions, oils, or certain cleaning products. Perfectly safe, but very visual. The next Saturday, I sprinkled the powder evenly into the pool before heading out for errands. I didn't even need to lock the gate. I knew curiosity, and arrogance, would do the rest. When I returned that afternoon, I could hear shrieks from 2 blocks away. Rushing to my backyard, I found them again, Karen's kids, splashing in a pool that had turned a vivid, milky turquoise. Their arms and legs were streaked with blue patches where sunscreen had reacted with the chemical. It looked like they'd been painted by the ocean itself. Karen was screaming, "What did you do? My kids are blue." I calmly set my groceries down and pulled out my phone. You mean, what did you do, breaking into my yard again? It was just a mistake. She snapped, dragging her towel over her son's arm. You poisoned the water. Actually, I said, showing her the container label, it's a harmless pH tracer. But it reacts to lotions and body oils, makes them visible. Great for detecting pool contamination. And apparently, trespassers. Her mouth opened, then closed. Within minutes, half the neighborhood had gathered, drawn by the shouting. People whispered as they saw the bright blue patches on her kids. Someone snickered. Karen tried to regain control. "This is ridiculous. He set us up." I looked straight at her. "Karen, there are cameras. You broke the gate lock. Again. You've been trespassing for weeks. I think the HOA might like to see that footage." Her face went pale. "You wouldn't dare." I met her gaze. "I wouldn't have to. You're the one who made the rules, remember?" By Monday, the story had spread across the neighborhood. Some people laughed, others felt sorry for her kids. But mostly, the tone had shifted. People who'd once bowed to her now avoided her. A week later, an emergency HOA meeting was called, without her leading it. I didn't even have to speak much. The evidence spoke for itself. The videos, the broken latch, the powder reaction. Karen was removed from her HOA position, officially reprimanded for harassment and trespassing. Her influence evaporated almost overnight. But here's the part one didn't expect. A few days after the meeting, a knock came at my door. I opened it to find her husband, Jim, standing awkwardly, hands shoved deep in his pockets. He looked nothing like the smug man from my backyard weeks ago. "Mike," he said quietly, "I wanted to apologize. Karen's been under a lot of stress. I should have stopped it. I didn't. I'm sorry." I studied him for a moment, the sincerity in his eyes. "Apology accepted," I said softly. "Just respect the boundary next time." He nodded, relief flooding his face. Then he added, "The boys wanted to say sorry, too, but they're embarrassed. Karen's been, well, she's been keeping to herself. She's humiliated." I didn't respond right away. Part of me felt vindicated, but another part of me, the quieter one my wife had nurtured, ached with empathy. I knew how pride could ruin a person, how humiliation could dig deep. That evening, I walked to their house. Karen answered the door, eyes red, shoulders stiff. She didn't say a word. "I came to drop this off," I said, handing her a small bag. Inside were 2 pool passes to the community center, the same place she'd told me years ago was too crowded for her family. "I heard your pool pump's still out," I said. "They've got lifeguards and snack stands now. The kids might like it." She stared at me, speechless. For a second, I thought she'd slam the door. But instead, her lip trembled. "Why?" she whispered. "After everything I did." I shrugged lightly. "Because this neighborhood doesn't need more hate. We've all lost. Enough already." Her eyes filled, and she nodded, unable to speak. After that, things slowly changed. She stopped sending reminders. She waved awkwardly whenever I passed. Her kids even helped me clean leaves from my yard one weekend. Life settled back into something resembling peace. Months later, the new HOA president asked me to speak at the community barbecue. "We're trying to bring folks together again," she said. "People respect you now. You handled things differently." Standing by the grill, watching families laugh around the picnic tables, I told the story, not of the powder, not of revenge, but of learning patience. "Sometimes," I said, "people break your peace because they've lost their own. Anger's easy, but kindness, that's the harder victory. The kind that lasts." The crowd went quiet, then clapped softly. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Karen sitting with her family. Her son gave me a thumbs up. She nodded once, eyes glistening. As the sun dipped low, the pool across the way caught the last orange light of evening. The water shimmered clear again, calm and still, just like the life I'd worked to rebuild. In that moment, I realized my wife had been right all along. Some wars are won not by proving others wrong, but by reminding them what's right. And sometimes, the things we build to bring us peace, a simple backyard pool, a quiet evening alone, can reflect not just who we are, but who we choose to become when life tests us. That summer ended quietly, with laughter drifting over the fences once more, not the arrogant kind, but the easy, neighborly laughter that fills warm nights. The HOA still met monthly, but there was less gossip now, less tension. People started helping each other again, trimming hedges, fixing fences, sharing meals. And every so often, someone would ask me, "Hey Mike, whatever happened with that pool thing?" I'd smile and shake my head. "Oh, that, just a little chemistry experiment that taught us all a lesson in humanity." They'd laugh, not realizing how true that was. Because in the end, it wasn't about revenge or embarrassment or even justice. It was about grace. The kind that costs you pride, but buys you peace. The kind that turns fences into friendships. And as I sat one evening by that same shimmering pool, a soft breeze brushing the surface, I realized, peace isn't something you guard. It's something you share, even with the people who least deserve it.